update and then with BBC.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. You mentioned the SDF raising the flag Syrian independence, and clearly it seems in fact mentioned it. This is something you welcome. But I just wanted to press you on how far you expect your Kurdish allies to go. Is it your expectation that they should fully cede authorities for future government in Damascus, or is there any kind of autonomy for the Kurds still acceptable to you? And then on Gaza, if I may, in Turkey yesterday, you expressed optimism for a ceasefire and hostage deal, but while the war goes on, so is its devastation. They told me that, of course, today 18 people killed, 55 people reported to be killed yesterday. Now, back in May, you said after a major airstrike that Israel was making what you described as incremental gains, and that was 7 months ago. So as the US arms this military action, what is your assessment of the strategy now? What is going on? Is it anything beyond applying pressure to Hamas to get them to the negotiating table? And if it is now, then simply not seeing ordinary Palestinians as a major part of that.
Thank you, Tom. So on the SDF, first we have the urgency of now, and the urgency of now is to make sure that the success that we've had over the last years in ending the territorial caliphate of ISIS, making sure that ISIS was in a box and stays there, that remains a critical mission. And the SDF is playing a critical role in pursuing that mission, a critical role, among other things, in securing the detention facilities that hold 10,000 or so foreign terrorist fighters, and also helping to repatriate them to their countries of origin. So, as I've discussed with our colleagues in Turkey and discussed with others, it's very important in this moment that it be able to continue in that role, because this is a moment of vulnerability in which ISIS will seek to regroup, taking advantage of the transition in Syria. Over time, of course, we hope to see a Syrian state emerge, one that is fully representative, that's non-sectarian, that's inclusive, that can bring together all parts of the Syrian community, including, for example, in its security forces. That's a goal. That's, I think, what everyone in Syria would want to see happen, is a country that comes together. How that happens, how the country's organized, those are obviously decisions for Syrians to make, for all communities to participate in making those decisions. But that's going to be a process that unfolds over time. With regard to Gaza, as I said, I think the single most important thing that can happen to change the reality on the ground for children, women, and men who remain caught in this crossfire that Hamas initiated so many months ago would be to conclude a ceasefire and hostage return deal. That's the single thing that can fundamentally change what's going on in Gaza, and that's why all of us are working intensely to bring it over the finish line. It's been the focus of my efforts, the efforts of my colleagues over the course of the last few days, Jake Sullivan, Brett McGurk, Bill Burns, and others. And that's what will make the biggest difference. And this is the moment to finally conclude that agreement. For Hamas, as I've said before, the cavalry is not coming to the rescue. They are not going to get the wider war that they've long sought, whether it's with Hezbollah attacking Israel, whether it's Iran, whether it's the many Iranian-aligned proxy groups. That's not going to happen. And I suspect that one of the reasons they've re-engaged in a more positive way in the last couple of weeks reflects that. And Israel, as I've said, some time ago, achieved its core military objectives necessary to helping ensure that October 7th never happens again, dismantling the military organization of Hamas and dealing with the leaders who were responsible for October 7th. So this is a moment to bring this to an end, and bring this to an end in a way that gets the hostages home and finally brings relief to people who suffered and continue to suffer every single day. Meanwhile, we continue to redouble and retriple efforts to get assistance into people who need it. And while much more needs to be done, we've seen in recent days, again, the number of trucks with assistance go up significantly into the hundreds. We got a UN mission into northern Gaza, which is very important, so that we could have eyes-on understanding of what was going on there. So even as we're trying to get the ceasefire hostage deal completed, we're pressing, pushing, driving on getting assistance to people who need it.